First contact and betrayal. The massive view screen aboard the UES Endeavour filled with swirling clouds of crimson and gold as the ship dropped out of hyperspace at the edge of the Proxima Centauri system. Captain Sarah Chen stood at the bridge's center, her dark eyes fixed on the approaching diplomatic vessel of the Cathera Empire. After centuries of wondering if humanity was alone in the universe, first contact had arrived with unexpected grace, or so they thought. Their ship is maintaining position at designated coordinates, Captain. Lieutenant Rodriguez reported from his tactical station. Shield signatures are stable, weapon systems appear dormant. Chen nodded, though something in her gut told her to remain wary. The Cathera had appeared 3 months ago, their sleek crystalline ships emerging from fold space near Mars. Their message had been one of peace and technological exchange. But Chen had spent enough time studying historical first contacts to know that appearances could be deceiving. "Status of our quantum encryption protocols?" she asked, keeping her voice steady despite the tension coiling in her chest. "Running at full capacity, Captain," Dr. Maya Patel responded from the science station. The quantum physicist had been brought aboard specifically for this mission, her expertise in particle physics and encryption essential for the planned technology exchange. "If they try to hack our systems, we'll know." The diplomatic party assembled in the Endeavour's conference room. A mix of military officers, scientists, and governmental representatives. The Cathera delegation would arrive soon, led by their ambassador Zarkax, a towering figure whose iridescent scales and multiple sets of eyes had become a common sight in Earth's media broadcasts. As Chen took her position beside United Earth diplomatic chief James Morrison, she couldn't shake the feeling that they were missing something crucial. The Cathera's offering of advanced propulsion technology seemed too good to be true, faster than light travel beyond anything humanity had achieved independently. The door slid open with a soft hiss, and Ambassador Zarkax entered with his entourage. Chen watched as their crystalline data tablets synchronized with the room's holographic projectors, displaying complex schematics of their promised technology. Honored representatives of Earth, Zarkax's translator conveyed his resonant speech. "Today marks the beginning of a new era for both our peoples. The Cathera Empire extends not just technology, but partnership." The presentation proceeded smoothly, too smoothly. Chen noticed Dr. Patel's subtle hand signal. Something was wrong with the data streams. Before she could react, the ship's red alert klaxon shattered the diplomatic atmosphere. Multiple ships dropping out of fold space. Rodriguez's voice cracked through her comm. "Cathera warships, weapons hot." Chen's military training took over. "Security team, detain the delegation. Bridge, emergency protocols now." But the Cathera were faster. Ambassador Zarkax's form shimmered, revealing combat armor beneath his diplomatic robes. The crystalline tablets exploded into clouds of microscopic machines that began eating through the ship's systems. "Your species' isolation ends today," Zarkax announced, his translator now conveying cold certainty rather than diplomatic warmth. "The Empire requires your world's resources. Surrender now, and your people will serve as valued subjects rather than conquered slaves." The battle that followed was brief but brutal. The Endeavour, despite being humanity's most advanced ship, was no match for the Cathera fleet. As emergency shuttles evacuated surviving crew members, Chen remained on the bridge, coordinating the retreat and ensuring vital data about the Cathera's capabilities reached Earth. "Captain, we need to go," Dr. Patel shouted, grabbing Chen's arm as another explosion rocked the ship. "I've secured their weapons signatures and shield frequencies. We can use this." Chen took one last look at her dying ship, then followed Patel to the last escape pod. As they launched into space, the Endeavour's antimatter containment failed, the explosion temporarily blinding the Cathera sensors and covering their escape. The pod's small view screen showed dozens of Cathera ships advancing toward Earth, their crystalline hulls gleaming with malevolent purpose. But they had made one critical mistake. They had assumed humanity would break under their show of force. They didn't understand that humans had spent centuries preparing for this possibility, imagining and planning for first contact gone wrong. In a hidden facility deep beneath the lunar surface, Project Aegis was already spinning up. The betrayal at Proxima Centauri would not go unanswered. Humanity had been caught off guard, but they would not be defeated. The plans for Earth's first Battlestar, incorporating decades of theoretical work and hidden technological development, were about to become reality. As their pod was recovered by a stealth rescue vessel, Chen and Paddle shared a knowing look. The Kethera thought they had dealt humanity a crushing blow. Instead, they had given humanity something far more dangerous, a reason to unite, to fight, and to prove that the human spirit could not be so easily broken. The war for Earth's future had begun, and humanity was about to show the galaxy why you should never underestimate a species that had spent its entire history preparing for this moment. Project Phoenix Rising. Deep within the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter, Facility Zero hummed with activity. The massive shipyard, carved into the heart of a metallic asteroid, had remained hidden from the galaxy for decades. Now, 6 months after the Proxima Centauri betrayal, it had become humanity's best hope for survival. Commander Elena Santos stood at the observation deck, watching as automated construction drones swarmed around the skeletal frame of humanity's first Battlestar. The vessel's spine stretched nearly 2 kilometers, its partially complete hull incorporating crystalline fragments recovered from destroyed Kethera ships. The quantum resonance tests are complete, Dr. Maya Patil announced, approaching with a holographic display of test results. After surviving the Endeavour incident, she had become instrumental in reverse engineering Kethera technology. Their crystalline tech isn't just for show. It can amplify energy signatures exponentially. Santos nodded, her expression grim. The Kethera now controlled most of Earth's orbital space, their ships maintaining a blockade that grew tighter each day. Ground resistance remained fierce, but without a way to challenge them in space, it was only a matter of time. How long until the Battlestar's core systems are operational? Santos asked, tracking the movement of a particularly large construction drone as it positioned a massive weapons array. 3 weeks for basic power and propulsion, Chief Engineer Marcus Wong replied, joining them at the viewport. His normally pristine uniform was stained with hydraulic fluid and metal shavings. But there's something else you need to see. Wong led them through the facility's winding corridors to a secure laboratory. Inside, a team of scientists clustered around what appeared to be a floating sphere of liquid metal. "We've cracked it," Wong announced proudly. "Adaptive nanometallurgy. The hull can reconfigure itself in real time, strengthening against enemy fire patterns or optimizing for different types of maneuvers." Santos reached out to touch the floating metal, watching as it responded to her presence, forming complex geometric patterns. "This isn't Kethera tech, is it?" "Pure human innovation," Wong confirmed. "They rely on their crystals for everything. This is something they won't expect." A sudden alarm cut through the facility. Red warning lights flashed as security teams rushed to their stations. Santos' communicator crackled to life with the voice of Lieutenant Emma Chen, Sarah Chen's younger sister who had been assigned to Zero's defense grid after the Endeavor's destruction. "Commander, we've detected unusual energy signatures in the outer belt. Pattern matches Keth-era scout ships." Santos's mind raced. The facility's stealth systems were state-of-the-art, but the Keth-era sensors were incredibly advanced. If even one scout reported their location, the entire project would be compromised. How did they get this close? Santos demanded, already moving toward the command center. "Unknown," Emma replied, her voice tight with controlled tension. "But there's something else. We're detecting irregularities in our power grid. Could be nothing, could be." "Sabotage," Santos finished. They had all known it was possible. With thousands of personnel working on the project, perfect security was impossible. The Keth-era had proven skilled at manipulation and infiltration. "Lock down all critical systems," Santos ordered. "Dr. Patel, run a quantum encryption sweep." Wong, Get your engineering teams to manually check every power junction. Lieutenant Chen, prepare our defense platforms, but do not engage unless absolutely necessary. We cannot reveal our position. The next hours were a blur of activity. Security teams swept through the facility while engineers raced to trace the source of the power fluctuations. In the shipyard, construction on the Battlestar continued, though now under heightened security. Dr. Patel's voice cut through the tension 2 hours later. "Commander, I've found something. The power irregularities. They're not random. Someone's been using them to transmit coded pulses through the asteroid's mineral structure." Santos leaned over the holographic display, studying the pattern. "Can you trace it?" "Better." Patel smiled grimly. "I can hijack it. With your permission, I'd like to send our own message." Understanding dawned on Santos. "Make it happen." The trap was sprung with precision. When the Kethera strike force emerged from fold space, expecting to find a vulnerable human facility, they instead found empty space. The false coordinates transmitted by the hijacked signal had led them far from Zero's actual location. But Santos wasn't done. As the Kethera ships reoriented themselves, automated defense platforms hidden in nearby asteroids powered up. The weapons, based on stolen Kethera designs but modified with human ingenuity, tore through the crystalline hulls of the scout ships before they could raise their shields. In Zero's security center, the captured saboteur, a human sympathizer altered by Kethera technology, watched in defeat as the last scout ship exploded. "You don't understand," the saboteur said, their voice distorted by cybernetic implants. "The Kethera are inevitable. Resistance only brings more suffering." Santos studied the prisoner, noting how Kethera crystals had been fused into their flesh. "No," she replied firmly. "You don't understand humanity. We don't submit to inevitability. We change it." The Battlestar's construction accelerated after the attack. The sabotage attempt had revealed vulnerabilities, but it had also proven that their security systems worked. More importantly, it had shown that human technology could effectively combat Kethera weapons. As Santos stood again at the observation deck, watching the Battlestar's hull plates being fitted with their revolutionary nanometallurgy, she allowed herself to feel hope. The vessel was more than a warship. It was humanity's statement to the galaxy. They would not be conquered. They would not be enslaved. The Kethera had awakened something they couldn't comprehend: humanity's limitless capacity for innovation in the face of extinction. The Battlestar would rise, and with it, humanity's future among the stars. The test of fire. The Battlestar Phoenix's command center buzzed with nervous energy as final launch preparations continued. Commander Santos stood at the central platform, watching as her crew worked through pre-launch protocols. They had planned for another month of testing, but the Kethera had forced their hand. Multiple fold space signatures detected. Lieutenant Emma Chen reported from her tactical station. "Large fleet composition. They found us." Santos' expression hardened. The Kethera had launched a massive offensive against Earth's remaining ground defenses, but this separate fleet had somehow tracked them to their hidden shipyard. Time had run out. "Dr. Patel, status of the quantum core." Maya's fingers flew across her console, operating at 83% efficiency. "Not ideal, but it'll hold." "Chief Wong, what about the nano-hull systems?" "Basic configurations are online," Wong replied from engineering. "Advanced patterns will need real-time calibration during combat." Santos took a deep breath. The Phoenix wasn't ready, but they were out of options. Begin launch sequence. All hands to battle stations. The massive doors of Facility Zero's hidden dock began to open, revealing the star-filled expanse of space. The Phoenix's engines hummed to life, their unique quantum-enhanced plasma drives creating a distinctive blue glow. "Kethera fleet entering weapons range," Emma announced, detecting 27 capital ships and multiple support vessels. "They're launching fighters." "Show me," Santos ordered. The main holographic display activated, showing the approaching Kethera armada. Their crystalline ships glinted in the starlight, forming an attack pattern they had used to devastating effect against Earth's defenses. "They're expecting an easy target," Santos said, a slight smile playing at her lips. "Let's show them something new." Lieutenant Chen, activate the Aegis defense grid. Dr. Patel, bring the quantum shields online. Chief Wong, prepare for hull reconfiguration pattern Alpha. The Phoenix rose from its asteroid berth as the first wave of Cathera fighters opened fire. Their energy weapons struck the Battlestar's quantum shields, which rippled and absorbed the impacts instead of deflecting them. "Shields holding at 92%, Patel reported. "The energy absorption systems are working better than expected." "Enemy capital ships moving to surround us," Emma added. "They're charging their main weapons." Santos nodded. "Initiate maneuver pattern Echo 7. Wong, configure hull for maximum energy dispersal." The Phoenix moved with surprising grace for its size, its nano-enhanced hull shifting and flowing like liquid metal. The first barrage from the Cathera capital ship struck, but instead of causing damage, the energy was channeled through the adaptive hull, feeding back into the ship's systems. "Power spike in the quantum core," Patel called out. "Ready to redirect their energy on your mark. Target their flagship," Santos ordered. "Fire." The Phoenix's main weapons array charged with the absorbed energy, enhanced by the quantum core. The resulting beam cut through space with devastating effect, its power amplified by the very attacks the Cathera had launched. The enemy flagship's crystalline hull shattered, its pieces scattering across space. The remaining Cathera ships adjusted their formation, but there was confusion in their movements. This was not the easy victory they had anticipated. "Multiple targets locking on," Emma reported. "They're coordinating for a concentrated strike." "Perfect," Santos smiled. "Chief Wong, initiate hull pattern Omega. Dr. Patel, prepare for quantum resonance burst." The Phoenix's hull began to shift more dramatically, forming intricate patterns that mimicked the crystalline structure of Cathera ships. As the enemy fleet fired, the Battlestar's surface caught and reflected their energy weapons, creating a cascade of destructive feedback. "Quantum resonance at critical levels," Patel announced. "Initiating burst now." A wave of energy pulsed from the Phoenix, interfering with the crystalline technology that powered the Cathera fleet. Ships began to drift, their systems disrupted by the unexpected attack. "Multiple enemy vessels disabled," Emma reported, unable to keep the excitement from her voice. "Their flagship formation is breaking up." But the battle was far from over. The remaining Cathera ships regrouped, adjusting their tactics. A new barrage of weapons fire approached, this time modulated to different frequencies. "Hull integrity at 76%, Wong called out. "The nanosystems are adapting, but they're learning our patterns." Santos gripped the command rail. "Initiate close quarters assault pattern. Let's see how they handle something more personal." The Phoenix charged forward, its massive bulk moving with impossible agility as the nano-hull redirected power to the engines. The Battlestar plowed through the enemy formation, its point defense systems shredding fighters, while the main weapons targeted capital ships at point-blank range. "Commander," Patel's voice cut through the chaos, "I'm detecting a power surge in their remaining ships. Energy signature suggests a fold space jump." "They're retreating," Emma confirmed. The Cathera fleet vanished in a flash of fold space energy, leaving behind the wreckage of their destroyed ships. On the Phoenix's bridge, the crew erupted in cheers, but Santos remained focused. "Damage report," she ordered. "Hull systems operating at 64%, Wong replied. "Repairs already underway. Quantum core stable but needs recalibration. Multiple systems showing stress from the battle," Patel added, "but nothing we can't handle." "The design worked, Commander. It actually worked." Santos finally allowed herself to smile. "Send word to Earth Command. The Phoenix is combat ready, and we're coming to take back our home." As the Battlestar set course for Earth, its nano-hull already repairing the battle damage, Santos knew this was just the beginning. They had proven that humanity's technology could match and even exceed the Cathars. But the real war was still ahead. The Phoenix had survived its test of fire, emerging stronger and ready for the challenges to come. The Cathara would return with new tactics and greater numbers, but humanity was no longer fighting for survival alone. They were fighting to reshape the balance of power in the galaxy. Counterstrike. The Phoenix's arrival in Earth orbit changed everything. The Cathara blockade, which had seemed impenetrable for months, suddenly found itself facing an enemy it couldn't easily counter. Commander Santos watched from the bridge as her ship led a daring assault on the alien fleet that had held humanity's homeworld hostage. "Ground resistance reports are coming in," Lieutenant Emma Chen announced, her voice tight with excitement. "The Cathara are pulling forces from surface operations to reinforce their orbital positions." "They're scared," Dr. Patel observed, monitoring the quantum resonance patterns of the enemy fleet. "Their ship formations are becoming erratic. They've never faced anything like the Phoenix before." Santos nodded, studying the tactical display. The Cathara had grown complacent during their occupation of Earth's orbital space. Their crystalline ships, once symbols of unstoppable technological superiority, now seemed brittle and predictable against the Phoenix's adaptive capabilities. "Chief Wong, status of the hull fabricators?" Santos asked, already forming a plan. "Operating at full capacity," Wong replied from engineering. "The nanoforges we installed during our journey back to Earth are ready. We can begin manufacturing the defensive platforms whenever you give the word." This was humanity's secret weapon, the ability to adapt and reproduce their technological breakthroughs rapidly. The Phoenix wasn't just a Battlestar. It was a mobile factory, capable of producing smaller weapons platforms that incorporated their breakthrough technologies. "Begin production," Santos ordered. "Lieutenant Chen, coordinate with Earth's remaining defense grid. I want those platforms positioned to create a strategic net around the planet." The next hours were a symphony of calculated warfare. The Phoenix engaged the main Cathara fleet, its adaptive hull and quantum weapons keeping the enemy off balance. Meanwhile, automated construction drones deployed from the Battlestar's massive fabrication base, seeding Earth orbit with defensive platforms that utilized the same nanotechnology and quantum systems that made the Phoenix so formidable. "Commander," Patel called out suddenly, "I'm detecting unusual energy signatures from the Cathara fleet. They're attempting to synchronize their crystalline matrices." Santos had anticipated this. The Cathara's greatest strength was their ability to link their ships into powerful battle networks, combining their energy weapons into devastating synchronized attacks. But this time, humanity was ready. "Initiate Operation Echo," Santos commanded. "Dr. Patel, prepare the quantum resonance disruptors." "Chief Wong, shift hull configuration to pattern Delta." The Phoenix's surface rippled, transforming into a complex array of quantum resonance amplifiers. As the Cathara fleet began their synchronized attack, the Battlestar responded with a carefully modulated burst of energy that turned their own crystalline technology against them. The effect was spectacular. The linked Cathara ships began to vibrate uncontrollably, their carefully aligned crystal matrices shattering under the strain. Ships that tried to break formation found their systems compromised by the quantum disruption. "Multiple enemy vessels disabled," Emma reported, unable to keep the satisfaction from her voice. "Their command and control network is collapsing." But the Cathara weren't finished. A massive ship emerged from fold space, a dreadnought that dwarfed even the Phoenix. Its hull was composed of deeper, darker crystals that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. "New energy signatures detected," Patel warned. "They've developed some kind of countermeasure to our quantum disruption." The dreadnought's weapons fired, releasing bursts of dark energy that threatened to overwhelm the Phoenix's defenses. The Battlestar's hull adapted quickly, but the strain on its systems was evident. "Hull integrity at 60%, Wong reported. "Whatever they're using, it's partially negating our adaptive capabilities." Santos gripped her command rail, mind racing through options. The Kethera had learned from their previous defeats, but they still didn't fully understand human ingenuity. Dr. Patel, remember your theory about quantum entanglement feedback loops? Santos asked. Patel's eyes widened. Yes, but we never tested it. The power requirements would be enormous. Chief Wong, can we channel all power from non-essential systems into the quantum core? Wong's fingers flew over his console, running calculations. Yes, but it would leave us vulnerable for at least 30 seconds while the systems reconfigure. Lieutenant Chen, coordinate with our defensive platforms. I want all available units to concentrate fire on that dreadnought the moment we begin our attack. We only need to keep them busy for 30 seconds. The crew moved with practiced efficiency, preparing for their commander's gambit. The defensive platforms around Earth began to shift position, creating a web of covering fire that forced the Kethera dreadnought to focus on multiple threats. All systems ready, Patel announced, initiating quantum entanglement sequence. The Phoenix's hull went dark as power was diverted to its quantum core. The massive dreadnought seized the opportunity, charging its main weapon for what it thought would be a killing blow. Quantum entanglement at critical mass, Patel called out, ready to initiate feedback loop. Now, Santos ordered. The Phoenix released a carefully modulated quantum pulse that entangled with the crystalline structure of the dreadnought's hull. As the alien vessel fired its weapon, the entanglement created a devastating feedback loop. The dark energy meant to destroy the Phoenix instead cascaded through the dreadnought's own systems. The massive ship began to break apart, its crystal hull shattering from within as the quantum feedback consumed it. The remaining Kethera fleet, witnessing the destruction of their most powerful weapon, began a hasty retreat. Enemy fleet jumping to fold space, Emma reported. They're running. The bridge crew cheered, but Santos remained focused. Begin deployment of the remaining defensive platforms. The Kethera will be back, and next time they'll bring everything they have. As the Phoenix moved through Earth orbit, its hull regenerating from the battle damage, Santos knew they had achieved something unprecedented. They hadn't just won a battle. They had changed the fundamental nature of the war. The Kethera would return, but they would find a very different Earth waiting for them. Humanity had taken their first steps toward becoming a true spacefaring civilization, and they had done it not by mimicking their enemies, but by innovating and adapting in ways the Kethera never imagined possible. The counterstrike had succeeded beyond their hopes, but the final battle still loomed on the horizon. Humanity's future would be decided not just by the strength of their weapons, but by their ability to outthink and outmaneuver an enemy that had finally learned to fear them. Turning point. 2 weeks after Earth's liberation, the Phoenix received the message everyone had been dreading. The Kethera were returning, and this time they were bringing their entire home fleet. Long-range sensors detected over 300 capital ships emerging from fold space at the edge of the solar system. Commander Santos stood in the Phoenix's war room with her senior staff, studying the holographic display of the approaching armada. The enemy fleet moved with deliberate purpose, their formation suggesting they had learned from their previous defeats. They've modified their ships, Dr. Patel observed, analyzing the sensor data. The crystal matrices are more complex, probably designed to resist our quantum disruption tactics. And they're not just coming for Earth this time, Lieutenant Emma Chen added. Intelligence suggests they mean to make an example of humanity. Total extinction. Santos studied the tactical projections. Even with the Phoenix's revolutionary technology and Earth's new orbital defense network, the numbers were daunting. The Kethera had committed everything to this final battle, determined to eliminate the only species that had ever truly threatened their dominance. What they don't realize, Chief Wong said, looking up from his engineering reports, is that we haven't been idle either. Santos nodded. In the weeks since liberating Earth, every shipyard and manufacturing facility on the planet had been working around the clock, guided by data from the Phoenix's successful battles. The orbital defense platforms had been upgraded, and the first wave of smaller warships incorporating their breakthrough technologies was nearly complete. Status of Project Starburst? Santos asked. Ready for deployment, Patel confirmed. The quantum entanglement network is stable. Once activated, it will link all our ships and defense platforms into a single unified system. The same crystalline technology that makes the Kethera strong will become their greatest weakness. Santos turned to her crew, seeing the determination in their eyes. The Kethera think they know what humanity is capable of. They've studied our tactics, adapted their technology, and brought overwhelming force. But they still don't understand what truly makes humanity different. She activated the main tactical display, showing the positions of Earth's defenders. We don't just adapt, we evolve. We don't just respond, we innovate. And most importantly, we don't fight alone. The Kethera fleet entered the outer solar system 3 days later, their massive armada filling the sky with crystalline ships of war. Their initial transmission was brief: unconditional surrender or extinction. Humanity's response came in the form of the Phoenix, rising from Earth orbit to meet them. All defense platforms online, Emma reported from her tactical station. Earth's combined fleet is in position. Project Starburst ready for activation. Enemy fleet entering weapons range, Patel added. They're charging weapons. Energy signatures are off the charts. Santos took her command position, feeling the weight of humanity's future on her shoulders. Begin Operation Daybreak. Activate Project Starburst. The battle that followed would be remembered for centuries to come. The Kethera fleet opened fire with a synchronized barrage that would have annihilated Earth's defenses just months ago. Instead, their energy weapons were caught in a web of quantum-entangled defensive platforms that absorbed and redirected their power. The Phoenix led Earth's counterattack, its nano-hull shifting and adapting faster than ever before. Smaller human ships darted between the massive Kethera vessels, their synchronized quantum systems allowing them to coordinate with unprecedented precision. Their formation is breaking, Emma called out as the battle raged. The quantum entanglement is disrupting their ability to coordinate. Santos watched as the carefully laid trap unfolded. The Kethera's greatest strength, their ability to link their ships into powerful battle networks, became their undoing. The quantum entanglement network created by Project Starburst turned their own technology against them, creating cascade failures throughout their fleet. But the Kethera weren't finished. Their flagship, a massive vessel at the heart of their fleet, began to pulse with dark energy. They're attempting to overload their crystal matrices, Patel warned. If they succeed, the quantum backlash could destroy everything in the system. Not if we complete the circle, Santos replied. All ships, execute Pattern Omega. Channel all power to the quantum network. The Phoenix and its accompanying fleet moved in perfect synchronization, forming a complex geometric pattern around the Kethera flagship. As the alien vessel's crystal matrix approached critical mass, humanity's ships created a quantum containment field that trapped the overload within itself. The resulting explosion was contained, the energy feeding back through the Kethera's own ships and leaving Earth's defenders untouched. As the light faded, more than half the alien fleet had been disabled or destroyed. Incoming transmission, Emma announced. It's their high command. The image that appeared on the main screen showed a Kethera admiral, its crystalline features reflecting the chaos of battle. How? It demanded. How have you done this? Santos stood tall. You thought humanity was just another primitive species to be conquered, but we've spent our entire history preparing for moments like this. Every story of alien invasion, every scientific breakthrough, every technological advancement, they all led us here. She gestured to her crew, to the fleet of human ships that had achieved what should have been impossible. We don't just fight with weapons. We fight with imagination, with innovation, and with the unshakable belief that we deserve our place among the stars. The Kethera admiral was silent for a long moment. When it spoke again, its tone had changed. Perhaps we have much to learn from each other. The war ended not with extinction, but with understanding. The Kethara, faced with humanity's undeniable achievement, chose to negotiate rather than risk their empire's destruction. The peace treaty that followed would reshape the galaxy, establishing humanity as a force to be respected rather than conquered. As the Phoenix patrolled the new border between human and Kethara space, Santos reflected on how far they had come. They had faced extinction and emerged stronger, not just surviving but revolutionizing warfare itself. The stars were no longer just distant lights, they were humanity's frontier, and their potential was limitless. The Phoenix had lived up to its name, helping humanity rise from the ashes of near defeat to claim their destiny. And as other alien civilizations watched and wondered about this remarkable species, one thing became clear: humanity's journey to the stars was just beginning.